Okay. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Mission Impact Series with Tracy and Ty. And today we're going to be talking about operational framework because nothing gets done in your social enterprise or nonprofit organization unless you have a framework for which to go by in order for everybody to get the job done. And that comes down to operations. A lot of people try to skate on this. They don't have operation manuals together. They don't have plans and strategies for how things are going to be done. And this is how nothing gets done and everything falls apart. So we're going to give you some tips and strategies in the series on how to get your operational framework in check and what goes into each component of that operational framework so that you can get started on that today. All right. So my name is Tracy V. Allen. I am the owner of TVA Consulting Group. I help social impact businesses design, build, and fund their social ventures so that they can maximize their revenue and impact their communities.
All right. My name is Ty Boone. I'm owner of Ty Boone Enterprises. Am I echoing? I help nonprofits primarily move from startup and struggle to sustainability and success without the traditional headache and hassle, y'all. And the headache and hassle comes when there is no infrastructure. Nothing. Just look, this is a business, right? And there has to be certain systems in place, especially at the operational level, in order to make this work. There's there's a process to everything, right? But you have at the bottom of a nonprofit organization, or should I say at the top, there are things that you have to have in place in order to get funding. And people who start nonprofits, Tracy, the first thing that they ask me, if I'm not their consultant from the start, is how we get some money. Where's the money, right? And I go, well, are you collecting data? Are you marketing? Are you visible or PR? Do you understand your nonprofit's brand? They're like, oh, I didn't know I had to do all that. I just wanted to get money, right? These are the things that we think are little things that are so very important. Being able to put in a system where you first understand, hey, what are we going to do on a day to day? How is this going to? What does a day in the life of this organization look like? From
And what
everything,
does that start with? Communication.
communication, right? Even
Yeah, systemic
even
communication.
even if it's something as small as what time do we open?
Yes. Yes.
What time do we open? What time do we on our website we say we open at 8 o'clock, but when folk come to our office at 11 o'clock, ain't nobody there, right? They don't know if we're serving, they don't know what's going on, ain't nobody answering the phone. These things that we think are little things, these are very, very important to the life cycle and the sustainability of your organization. What happens when we get there? Who do we need to have there? Who's on the team? What are the pieces of the we need in order to make this organization work, right? Who's going to do, if you're the executive director and you're looking for grants and you're networking, who's going to serve the people? So staffing, things like that we forget about, Tracy. I think we're in this era of Nike, and I'm going back to Nike again because I am picking on Nike. I love Nike. I hope they see this video, and find me somewhere. But we're in this era of Nike where we're just doing it. We don't have any standard operations procedures in place. We're not going in where we're planning the day in our organizations so we can know when we get certain results. If we were to plan our day, and data is one of these things that we're talking about in your communications and what you need to have. How do you communicate to your audience and what are you telling them when you're communicating to them? What kind of data are you collecting? Even things like whether or not people are coming for your services. Do they need what you have to offer? How do you know that? Are you collecting this kind of information? If you are collecting it, how do you communicate that on the outside of your organization? How do you market the fact that you are here, that you are doing what you're supposed to be doing, that you are opening on time and you're not sleeping at 10 o'clock like I am? How do you get that out there, right? We're forgetting
Yes.
all of that, and that has to be in place even before things like programs. even before
Right.
like grants, because what if you're somebody were to come by for a site visit, you ain't even there. We don't know
Mhm.
how do we see you? When I'm doing grant review, Tracy, especially now when things have gotten a lot more competitive, not considering COVID relief funds, because I don't even consider that real grant stuff because it's not the same competition that you'll see. And I ain't gonna say
Mhm.
nothing bad about that right now, but I got something bad to say about it. Just remember that we're gonna table that for another. For another um, when you're when I'm doing grant review and I'm looking at your proposal, right? There are things in your proposal that tells me whether or not you have set up any your systems correctly, right?
Mhm.
Some grant applications will ask you things like, how are you collecting data? How are you managing
Yes.
your sponsors? They'll ask you this
Mhm.
in the application. And
Mhm.
y'all, like, I don't know. I think I write it down on a piece of paper. No,
Mhm.
man. We don't fund organizations that write it down on a piece of paper. What kind of systems are you using? How are you paying your staff? Are you paying your staff? Who do you have on full
Mhm.
time? Who's part time? All that kind of stuff that has to go in consideration when you're building your organizations.
Yeah. Yeah, so the communication is imperative. I think the fall apart happens when you're dealing with operational framework, when you don't have a good communication structure. And we've talked about communication in past episodes, but this is how imperative. So sometimes it may sound like we're saying the same thing over and over, but we have to say it because this is how important it is to various components of running a successful nonprofit organization or social enterprise or just a business, period, is having that good communication. How are we marketing the products and services? How are we marketing the programs? Who are we marketing them to? If you don't have a way of telling your staff or your support network how you're doing that, then everybody's going to have a different idea. Tell me you haven't worked for an organization, government, private, or even your own, where you think you have clearly communicated your mission, vision, and values, or you've clearly communicated the steps of things that you want done and the order in which you want it done, and that other person completely missed the mark and misinterpreted everything that you were saying. So communication is not just about verbal, it's not just about written, is that you have to learn people's learning styles
Mhm.
and meet them where they are. So there's
Mhm.
some people that you can give verbal instructions to and they're good to go, right? And then there are other people, you tell them something and they give you something completely different. So, for those people, you need to give them written instructions, right?
Mhm.
And then for other people, they're visuals. So you need to give them video instructions. So when you're thinking about your operational framework for communication, you have to think about those various components of the facets of people that you have working for your organization and how those people work and how they learn, process, and do their job, right? So
You just
thinking
know me
about
right.
all of
I just wrote
that.
down, I just wrote down directionally challenged because I get that joke from my family all the time. Like Ty, you are direct. I don't care. I'm
Yeah,
going. My husband will say, "Well, go down here and you get off on the exit 25 and you turn here." And I'm like, "No, I'll just put it in the GPS and let them tell me as I go because I'll miss it every time because
mhm.
I don't care. And you can tell me the best directions. I didn't hear anything you said. Nothing. Like I'll
Right.
wait when I get in the car. I'll put it in the GPS and it's gonna have to guide me as I go. Turn left at the next
Right.
light.
And I literally had a meeting with my staff yesterday, and there's something that we're trying to work on. And I'm a very smart person, and I'm not just bragging on myself. Like I can learn a new skill in less than a week, like a whole new subject matter in less than a week. But this is one concept, very simple to maybe most people, that I just cannot wrap my mind about around. It's been explained to me several times. And I think for me, I have a block in my mind because I want it to work this way, because the way how they're explaining it to me sounds like more work. And I just cannot put the concept together. So I said, write it out. Once it's written and I can look at it, I'll absorb it. So you have to meet people, because I can listen. I'm an audio learner. So I can listen to things and I get it and I can move on. But there's some things, like anything technical, I need a video. Don't tell me what to do.
Mhm.
Show me how to do it and then I can do it. So you have to realize how people operating your own in your organization. And this also goes for marketing, because the same type of people you have working for you is the same type of people who's going to be looking at your content. So some people can watch content, listen to it, absorb it, and move on and implement it. Other people are going to need to have it showcased to them. You need to show you step by step, right? Some people are going to need a handout. You have to think about all of these different types of communication when it comes to your marketing, when it comes to your clients, and when it comes to your staff members as well. So communication and the data, let's not forget the data, right? The data is key. It is. Listen, we can never stress enough. You're probably tired of hearing time I talk about data, God. You're like, God, here we go again.
Everything
data. But data literally rules the realm. It's both king and queen of any social impact business. As a matter of fact, data is the key to my own business, okay? Because that is how I know how I need to shift my strategies and what's working, and maybe I need to put this one on the shelf and that type of stuff. But that's what systemic communication is. Having those meetings with your staff members, talking and surveying the clients that you have, your partners, when you're building those relationships. We always talk about data and relationship building. So those types of communication strategies are just imperative, and getting the word out. So, using media, social media, or, traditional media, PR firms to get the word out, and so that people know what is going on with your organization, and so that you can grow.
Yep. And going everything, like you said, is about data, whether it's qualitative, quantitative, everything, how you're telling the story, marketing, all of that is data. Your story is data. Everything that you're putting out there, the information that you're sharing, the statistics that you're sharing, the number of people who visited your website, all that stuff is data.
Surveying your clients to find out what they feel, data. Because if they're all saying this is crap, that's data. You know that this is crap, and I need to stop doing it. Seriously. We're laughing, but it's serious. Like, that's how you know. If you surveyed 10 people, all 10 people told you this is crap. This is trash. According to my daughter would say, this is trash. Then you really just need to take it and throw it in the trash, because it's trash. Okay. So
that is right. It's just
data comes in many different forms. It comes in many different forms. So when you're thinking about anything from fundraising to operational framework, data, communication, relationship building, all of the same things, planning, they all go across every realm.
And I like that you brought this around communications, because you can't effectively communicate without the data. Because what are you talking about? What is it? What are you marketing? What are you showing? If there is no evidence to what you're doing, you can't market results. If there's not any information that you collected, you can't even set a picture where you can tell people what it is you're doing, because you don't know what you're doing. So everything,
just like we talked about when we talked about year-end fundraising, we talked about telling that story, and the story came through the data, the impact that your organization is making with the resources that they already have. So you're asking for additional resources to make greater impact. Data, communication, data, all goes together, right?
They go together.
They go together. Oh, I haven't said that since this season, right? They go together. They married. Right? Or at least they're engaged. Yes, they definitely go together.